Hello friends, welcome to another fascinating analysis. Today, we will be looking at the policy initiated to change the taxi colors in Bamenda from yellow as we all know it to white and blue. We will also be making a comprehensive analysis on the ADF group that is spearheading this initiative on the ground. If you've never understood how the ADF operates, this video is going to be very vital in that regard. If you are joining us for the very first time, this platform is designed for Cameroonians below the age of 40 who believe that we can achieve peace, unity, freedom, and prosperity in Cameroon without violence. If you are above the age of 40 and you believe in this initiative, we welcome you. If you are above the age of 40 and your strategy towards prosperity and development is through violence, then this video and this platform is not for you. With that being said, let's dive straight into the video. Okay. What I want to say about this is going to blow your mind. This strategy is absolutely ludicrous. I don't know why people put up with this. Right? I don't know why we put up with this. That an individual will wake up in the morning and thinks that the colors of the taxi should be changed. And they go on to destroy people's vehicles. These vehicles are a source of livelihood to these individuals and their families. When you are imposing a law of this magnitude in a state that you have declared ungovernable, people are barely struggling to make it to feed themselves and their families. And there are no funds provided for them to change the colors of their taxis. For whatever reason, you think they should change the colors of their taxis. I mean, like, this is how insane we are becoming with this idea. This is how ludicrous we are evolving in this idea. This is us doing this to us. These are enemies within, destroying their own people in the name of freedom. And the people of Bamenda fold their arms and watch this happen. Right? We don't have oil in Bamenda because I know the primary motivation is that we take over the territory so that we can be able to access the oil, sell it, and distribute the money. We do not have oil in Bamenda. Why is the focus on Bamenda? Why are we terrorizing Bamenda? If you are a taxi driver in Bamenda, I encourage you not to put up with this, and do not change the color of your taxi from yellow to blue and white for whatever reason. Let them destroy the taxis. And do not allow any young person, because they have guns, to step into your premise and destroy your property for whatever agenda that they have. What I think about this, these individuals are just seeking attention. They will deny it and they will say it's a strategy, but I say it's ludicrous. And this kind of thinking is out of line. Now, when you look at the group called ADF that is spearheading this movement, I've had leaders from the ADF reach out to me and we are in communication. One thing I want to let the public know, some of the individuals that we call generals that have been killed, those are logistic men. Some of them are just logistic men. And do not be deceived. Most of these young men fighting are not illiterate as we think. Some of them have degrees. Some of them are extremely smart, and they've reached out to me. Some of them said they've gone through my YouTube channel and they've watched my videos extensively. And because of that, they are getting perspective as to how to go about their lives. One personally said to me, "Your videos made me feel like living again, because my objective was living to die." That is what he personally told me. Because my message is producing life. Some of them are leading 500 men. Some of them are leading 1,000 men. And they are quitting because they have realized that the whole initiative is based on lies, selfishness, and greed. Did you know that the ADF recruit young men as young as 14? Their primary recruit is between 14 to 21. Did you know that? They don't recruit based on age. They recruit based on the height. I'm saying this because some people are like, "Oh, is it true?" No, they are quitting. If Cho Ayaba set his foot in Bamenda today, he will be nibbled limb by limb by the ADF. Today, if he steps foot in Bamenda, he will be nibbled, limb by limb by the ADF. One of the things that caught my attention was what the young man said, because I asked good questions and I listened. I asked him, "Why did you reach out to me?" And one of them said, the reason is that they've been looking for a way forward. They've been watching for about 5 to 7 years now. Some of them have been in this struggle for a very long time. Extremely smart young men. Very brilliant. Thinks, like you can feel it. And they said they've looked at all the leaders online talking about this crisis. And they've never felt like reaching out to any of these leaders. But when they watched my video, they felt like living again. They felt like they can find a purpose for living. Are you guys understanding? I didn't put any gun to their head. And some of them were saying like they hope that I should condemn them or say what they were doing was wrong and they are terrible, because they said all sorts of crazy things to me. The people they've killed, how they killed them, it's completely ludicrous. And they said they are confused why I did not judge them, because I understand that even Hitler manipulated the German people and led them astray. It is possible to have an enemy inside disguising as a savior and mislead the masses. And that was what I said. And so I'm not mad at the people. I'm looking at the leaders. If you realize from inception, when I came into this conversation, I listened carefully. It was like having a conversation with those who were in this struggle before me. And it is for a purpose. Because people were asking me the question, why is it that you're not talking about the people dying in Cambe? Why is it that you're not talking about the people dying in Libya, Lem, and all of that? And I'm like, these are the symptoms. I'm looking at the root cause of the problem. That's why in the beginning, I talked about the Amber boys on the ground. I talked about the leaders. But if you look at my videos, over 80% was focused on the leaders. And it was for a purpose. Because vision is everything. And Anglophone people, I want you to hear me carefully. Vision, where you are taking us to, is more important than what we are dealing with right now. Do you know where you're taking us to? And do you have a plan and how long it will take to get us there? If a leader cannot answer these questions with clarity, then it is worthless. And that is why, you see, I was not talking about the people dying, because I wanted to understand the vision based on the plan that I have for our nation. And with perfect clarity on that plan, now we can be talking about what is happening. Because 50, 100 people dying and me talking about it won't solve the problem. There are young men that were told to kill their own friends on the way because they had a wound. And because they were bleeding, if they tried carrying them along, the enemies can trace the blood on the path and get to the rest of the soldiers. So your own friend is told, kill this man. The public doesn't know about this. And I'm sharing this with you so that you can understand. I believe that as a man, you should keep your word. Because this young man told me, do not record me. Because this young man told me, this is my plan moving forward, and do not disclose that to the public. I respect that. And this is how you gain people's trust. Every soldier on the ground, I want to let you know, the smart ones among you understand what is going on right now. They understand it's all manipulation and you're going to lose your life for nothing. And they are exiting the bushes. They said they were not scared even of the military. They were ready to die if the cause was just. Are you understanding? They were willing to lay down their lives. This is how determined these young men are. There is a path for us moving forward. We have a 20 years plan. And this 20 years plan involves Cameroonians who speak French and English coming together for peace, unity, freedom, and economic prosperity. We are focusing on the 7 industries that are transforming the global economy. The movement It's called CSDP, Cameroon Sustainable Development Project. We call ourselves nation builders. We have a university, Nation Builders University. The ADF inside us. This man, extremely smart man, they are taking some of the courses that we are providing right here at Nation Builders as we speak. They are studying some of those books so that they can find perspective, they can have clarity for themselves. And they speak terribly about Ayaba. They detest him and they hate him, and they know his plan and his games, how he set up confusion even among them, claiming to know everything. He will set some of them up to die, and most of them have died through his strategies, if just within ADF. This is what the public don't know. And these young men are leaving. They are quitting. Some of them will probably just fly out of the country, and some of them will not be involved in this fight anymore. I'm saying this to say all of these leaders can talk about the history of our nation, but they cannot articulate the future of our nation. And that is the distinction. Most of these leaders speaking on all of these panels can talk about the history, but they cannot talk about the future. And so I asked the young men, what is important to you? The future or the past? Choose. And they said they want the future. I went on to articulate that future for them. And they said they are on board. And I'm saying this to say, this is how we change a nation. And that is why strategy does matter. And that is why I started by evaluating the vision of the leaders. They said they were going with Eritrea. When I challenged that idea, they said South Sudan. When I challenged South Sudan, I looked at the GDP of Eritrea, South Sudan. I'm like, these are very poor and backward nations. This is not a role model. And they left and started talking about Norway, Spain, and Portugal and all that. They don't have a vision. You might have a problem that is valid, and yes, you want a solution to that problem, but what is the way forward? We underestimate that. And we want to talk about a problem and have goosebumps and go back and sleep, get up the next day, turn on our cameras and keep talking about the same past. And young men are wasting their lives. But it ends here. This year, 2024, marks the turning point of the subjugation, confusion, and manipulation. We will be launching CSDP next year, July 17, in Douala and Fumban. July 17, that will be in Fumban. And we urge every Cameroonian, if you want peace in that country, you want equality in that country, you want freedom in that country, this is the opportunity for you to get engaged, because this mission is the way forward for our people and the entire nation. We'll start in Fumban, July 17, July 18 to 21 in Douala. We'll have key business leaders who will be speakers at this event. We need people that will work hard in this dispensation to build our nation, not people with talk and political rhetoric. We want people who have done stuff to show other young men and women how to do stuff and get results and change their conditions. We don't want people who will talk about resources and the government. We don't want that anymore. I hear you. You talk about the problem, but do you have a plan for the future for the young people? You care about returning to a land where you'll be buried. My question is, do you know where the graves of these young men are? So as of now, there are two groups that will be dissolved internally. ADF is one of them, and another group, a very prominent group in the Southwest. And these young men are quitting. They are quitting. So just watch out for that. And many will follow. As they find light, they will not waste their lives. Let those who believe in the fight so much go on the ground and fight. Because the interesting thing about it is, whereas, in as much as these young people are dying, those who are spearheading this movement from the diaspora don't feel their pain. Right? And I came into this struggle. One thing that I tried to detach myself from in order to gain clarity to help our people was not to be attached to the problem, but detach. Because that is how you gain clarity to find a solution that will work in the next 20, 30, 40 years, is to detach emotionally from the problem. Not like the killing or the cutting of the heads or the burying of people alive wasn't hurting when they send the footages to me. But in order to find a way forward, you need to detach. And that is what we did. So we did not just focus on the problem. We're looking at the solution. And once we got the solution, now we can find a way to understand the in-between. In war, friends, when you want to bring peace or go about a disarmament process, you cannot count casualties or base your premise on casualties to find a way forward. Many people have died and they are not coming back. And it might be another point of contention that you start focusing on that, like, oh, this has died, or we've lost this property. That is not how you look at a situation like this if you want to build a nation. It's not like you are minimizing the death counts, but you are trying to make use of a bad situation. You're trying to come out with something good out of a terrible situation. And what we have is the way forward. The money you've been channeling towards that war, it's time to channel that money towards projects like this. We are projecting approximately 100 million for that event. 100 million francs for that event. It's going to be big. 5 days. This is the way forward. This is the path to building the nation that we want to see. Yeah. So I just thought I come out and let you know that all this taxi color being changed from yellow to blue and white, it's just, you can see how insane the ideas keep getting every day, right? They wake up in the morning to hear about a powerful strategy that they're coming up with to maybe move the entire struggle forward. You keep realizing how limited they are in their thinking, in their vision, and in their plans and execution. Every day. Yeah, stupidity will keep coming before you, and you can only be a blind person to not see this. And those who think federation is the way forward, I'm like, if we didn't have the situation that we have at hand, we would have been talking about federation. You will not like to live in a federated state with the boys that we have on ground and the ammunitions and guns that they have. They are dangerous young men on the ground, and especially those between the age of 18 to 21. They are the most violent, because this is one thing about the struggle, right? We have individuals that are being recruited from the age of 14. Some came from Liberia. They've brought some people from Liberia, and you've seen some people die and you don't even know who they are, because, you know, the Liberians speak, their pidgin is just like ours. So you can have a Liberian in our midst and you don't understand. Did you know that? You didn't know that. I'm giving you inside information. They brought some young men from Liberia to fight this war. There are some Cameroonians that have gone over there running some businesses that these organizations, the ADF and other groups, they've been able to set that up. This is inside information. And I plan not to disclose too much based on my agreement with this young man. But I'm saying this to help you understand that we are making progress. and we are going somewhere together. And I expect everyone to join on board because the future is bright. No matter how dark it is right now, there is a bright future for us all. And if we jump on the train, if we engage, we will get there faster. But with or without your support, we will do it. We will build it. We are standing on the shoulders of giants. I stand on the shoulders of individuals like Ninja Frunzi. I stand on the shoulders of people like Fonan Wafo the third. I stand on the shoulders of people like Foncha. I stand on the shoulders of people like Aijo. Yes. These individuals came together and said they want to build this nation. Whatever they have done, whether it's good or bad, whether we like it or we don't like it, we can make it better. And that is what we are advocating for right now. Make it better. Don't make it worse. And so I will not have any conversation with anyone who focuses their attention on 1961. It's irrelevant at this point. So talking about the federalism, it would have been a good idea if you didn't have boys with ammunition. Integration at this stage is what we should be pushing for, because the only way these boys will lay down their arms is through integration. When we have more French people in our midst, guess what? They won't carry out their operation the way they will do if they are just among their fellow Anglophone brothers, because the Francophone man is going to disclose what is going on. And so we want more Anglophones into the Francophone zone. And because of that, if the Francophones are doing something that the Anglophones do not like, the Anglophones are going to point it out. And because of this perfect integration, we can be considering federation in the future. And the federation will consist of Francophones and Anglophones who live in that region, not Anglophones in their own corner. We don't need that. Coming out of colonization, slavery, slave trade, the pain that we've gone through, the worst thing you want is stay in your own corner. When we integrate perfectly, guess what? We are going to stimulate growth, progress, and prosperity. When we are isolated, we are limited. Federation will limit us. We will be less productive because of that. The kind of federation with Anglophones all by themselves. Remember, we were led through indirect rule. It's not like direct rule like the British were with us every step of the way. No, they were leading through our authorities, through our chiefs, through our leaders. It is called indirect rule. And you have to put that in perspective and understand that we did not have that total Anglo-Saxon culture like the British have. We don't have that. And so when you're talking about federation, you should be looking at the condition, the mindset, and the state of your people. And that is what I'm factoring into consideration. The region need perfect integration. And then you can look at decentralization in the future and federation if it's an idea that we want to adopt. But from my understanding, the federal system is not the best system on earth, because Britain that we are looking at, that we adopted the Anglo-Saxon culture from, Britain practices a unitary form of government. Did you know that? They didn't tell you that. Look it up. Britain has a unitary system of government. Things like this are very complex for some people to understand. And that is why I try to make it easy and very simple, so that the average man can grasp what I'm saying here. It's very, very easy for us to make progress. This problem is very small to solve, right? But we just need to learn to follow directions and cooperate and be part of that change. I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope you understand the dynamics on the ground, and I hope you got my take on the whole taxi thing. It's all about power, trying to prove a point trying to seek attention so that you can be relevant, and so that you can think that the struggle is actually making progress, of which it's not. It's dying down. And again, another group within the ADF is made up of thieves, right? Individuals that are thugs. And most of these barbaric actions, kidnapping for ransom, or maybe even looting people's taxes, most of this is done by those thieves. And I'm saying that to help you understand that you should know the people that are on the ground and what they are doing, so that you can be able to separate them. I hope you love this video and remain blessed. My number is right there on the screen. Reach out, right? We'll always have someone to pick up the phone and talk to you. This is the new kind of leadership that we are building in Cameroon. Leaders who want to engage with their people. Leaders who love their people. The reason why we are able to make progress with the plan that we have right now is because we started from a place of love for the people. And then secondly, strategy. So first is love. And that is why you see the Amber Boys will reach out to me and we can talk. We can talk and make sense and reason because of love and then strategy. So I encourage us to be able to love one another and love hard, right? And to add to that, most of the leaders in the diaspora, we need to learn to love our people. We need to learn to love our people hard. I remember when I came out of the seminary, my mentor was a pastor who was an Anglophone from Cameroon. When I was done with the seminary, I was supposed to be ordained. This pastor told me, go write a paper on systematic theology and come present that paper. I am going to evaluate it. I went, wrote that paper on systematic theology, came, presented that paper. He still delayed my ordination. A white man who saw me at an event and saw the call of God over my life and said, young man, I want you to visit me. This is my phone number. Most of the books that I had that helped me to understand God better was provided by this white man. Today, they want to fight the white man and they have all of these aggressions in their heart. This white man is the one who ordained me. His entire congregation, I preached my first sermon in his church. They gathered around me, prayed for me, ordained me, and contributed money and said, go and start your ministry. And he said, don't just stick around your people. Don't just stick around your people. And he said, love the blacks, love the whites, love the Mexicans. Go out there and make a difference. There's a lot that needs to change in our community, right? The same way you as an elderly man will behave towards a white man, behave that way towards your fellow Cameroonian. Don't have all of this look on your face. When you see a white man, you smile. Can you smile that way towards us too? You want a fellow Cameroonian to greet you with two hands. Will you demand that same greetings from a white man? If a white little child or a young person that is Caucasian approaches you, are you going to have them greet you with two hands and you explain to them why? No, you will shake their hands, you will smile with them. But when it's your fellow black person, your fellow Cameroonian, you will treat them a certain way. All of this needs to change. This kind of inferiority complex that we've infiltrated in our people. We need to help them to be brave and be courageous people. And it's by treating them the same way you would treat a white person. All right. If you like this video, you're going to like this other episode and you can watch it by clicking right here.